Hey everybody, it is me, lukemick here, and this is my review for The Quiet Ones, and this is what I wanted to do halfway through that movie. So The Quiet Ones is a new horror movie out of England, and I was kind of looking forward to this movie, to be honest with you. If you guys don't know, I really like horror movies. It's one of my favorite genres. Even though it's very hard to perfect, I think there are some pretty damn good horror movies. And The Quiet Ones, I saw the trailer and I was like, that looks decent. It doesn't look like it's going to be great, but it has the guy from Catching Fire in it, and it looks like it'll be just alright, you know? But I was completely wrong. And this movie was shit. I hated this movie so much. I wanted to leave the theater, but I didn't, and I'm gonna tell you guys why this movie sucks balls. So, basically, it's about an experiment on this girl who has a demon inside of her, but the man running the experiment does not believe that. He thinks that she's just mentally ill or something, but everyone else in the group, the three other people, Sam Claflin, the guy from Catching Fire included, who's the cameraman for this experiment, they all think that something else is happening, and it gets really confusing, and it just is not entertaining at all. It's seriously one of the most boring horror movies I've seen. Now, the acting in this movie, it was decent. I mean, it wasn't the worst acting I've ever seen. It was alright, it wasn't bad, but the story was just so pathetic. It feels like nothing happened the whole entire time. And every time that a character was explaining what was happening, they would say all this stuff like, oh, I read this book and this could be a demon, and we got this footage, so obviously that was faked. But it's just like, after the end of the whole entire explanation, none of it matters and none of it makes sense. And there's a bunch of really confusing stuff going on with the characters. Like, everybody in this movie is banging each other. Like, everybody is having sex for no reason, and it creates all this unnecessary complication, and it's just really, really dumb. And the movie honestly does nothing. Basically, they have the funding to do the experiment on this girl so they can try to, like, save her and help her out. The funding gets cut in the beginning of the movie, so they go out to, like, some random, like, haunted mansion out in the middle of nowhere, and the whole movie is spent there, and they're just getting footage of her, like, getting, like, some exorcist stuff happening, and then she freaks out and starts on fire, then they have to, like, put her out. It's just, it was such a dumb movie, and what it really relied on were jump scares. The jump scares in this movie were fucking ridiculous. They would be watching old film reels, like, with no sound, almost no sound. You could barely hear the people's voices who were in the video, and then, out of nowhere, a jump scare would come out, like a chandelier would fall from the ceiling because someone's possessed or something, and it sounded like an atomic bomb went off in the backyard. The jump scares were so loud for no reason, and they were overused so much. There were probably like 50 fucking jump scares in this hour and 40-minute movie. It was ridiculous. There was no tension built at all, no suspense. I didn't give a shit about any of the characters. You didn't get to know anything about any of them, and they were all banging each other, and they were all a bunch of little bitches. I hated this movie so much, and on top of that, none of it was interesting, and the payoff at the end too was pretty lame. This movie was so stupid. There was just a bunch of dumb drama for no reason, a bunch of really shitty jump scares that got super fucking loud for no reason. It was seriously an awful movie. The Quiet Ones is unfortunately probably the worst movie I've seen in theaters all year. I hated this movie. I'm gonna give it half a star out of 5. Do not go see this. It's shit. I will talk to you guys later.